Hi, I decided to hop here and just go live right now on YouTube. Um, Most of the time when I go live on YouTube is for our show, the Nursing News You Can Use show. You see the banners down there. And I wanted to share something about why I created the Nurse Shark Academy. Because it occurred to me that many of you may not know my story, my background, and also, I wanted to share some opportunities that you can to engage with our community in different ways. And so, one of the things I want to talk about is my story. So, I started out as a nurse entrepreneur, not really knowing that I was a nurse entrepreneur. When I started, I was a nursing student. Teaching CPR classes for extra cash, the typical broke college student story. And it never occurred to me that what I was doing was starting a business because I didn't think of it that way. I always thought of it as a side hustle, right? You just go in, you do your thing, you leave, you get paid. And so I would, what was interesting for me is that I had set it up to where I was taking corporate contracts, corporate gigs, where I would go into businesses and teach CPR for their employees to these health agencies without realizing that could be a business. I was just doing it for me to make extra cash and for them to do a favor for some people, right? That's how I looked at it. Or I looked at it as I was providing a service, that I could do for the community. That's what I was thinking about. And so it didn't occur to me that that could be a business. And I bet that there are many of you that are doing things like that as well, that'll just use it maybe to make extra cash as a side hustle, whatever, not realizing that it can be turned into a business. So fast forward to several years later, I started a business with two friends, two other nurses, and we started training in CNAs, certified nursing assistants. And it was during that initial startup time of trying to figure out how to launch this business and what our corporate structure is going to look like and what policies, procedures we're going to have in place to make sure we're in compliance for the state, the curriculum is correct, we're using the best textbooks, the best, training materials that we can find, and then finding the students and helping them to get jobs. And so I say that to say that at that time, I really wasn't looking to start a business, but all this time I had been, doing CPR classes, etc. So when I started with that business, I learned a lot about myself during that process. And I learned a lot about how to structure a business and how to put things in place. And did we make mistakes? Oh, yes, because there wasn't a lot of people out there that were helping you in healthcare businesses. A lot of times it was helping you in doing business itself, but a lot of people didn't have expertise in what it means to be in a healthcare related business. And so we were doing things and figuring a lot of things out on our own. And then I realized that we had all of these other agencies around us that were starting programs like ours, which I think was great. But then we were all working in our own little silos. And so it was hard to cultivate what's best practice and how, what worked for you. Can it work for me? And how can I assist you and work, be collaborative? And so it was really hard to get all of those individuals together to talk. And then when changes were made on the state level, how can we collectively as instructors influence that process? And so those were some of the questions that I was having as we were building that company. And I realized that a lot of nurse entrepreneurs are in silos, they're by themselves, and they don't have that support and a supportive community. Now, there are great programs out there, and they do have some great communities, but a lot of times it's more of a one and done. You're there for a short period of time, and then once you complete the training, of course, you're out of there. And they're not fostering real relationships. And so I wanted to create a community that would not only give you the training that helps you get started in what you're doing, help you with the regulatory process and all those little legal hurdles and things like that, and just helping you figure out what your goals are and what you really want to do as a business owner and what you're looking for, and to really put your plan in place so that you can be successful. But I also wanted to create a place where you could find community, a place where you can find someone that would lift you up and not tear you down, a place where nurses support one another, particularly nurse business owners, because we tend again to be isolated, and I don't want that for us. I think we have a lot to contribute, and so when you're in those types of places where you're feeling like you're alone, oftentimes you miss a bigger picture that's out there. So I started the Nurse Shark Academy because I was getting questions from people about how do I get my LLC? How do I start my home care agency? How do I start this particular program? What does it take to, to teach CPR, be a nurse entrepreneur? And I wanted to share that information with people. And that's why I started the program, because I wanted to be practical. A lot of the programs that I've attended, and I've participated in a lot of masterminds and a lot of other groups that I've been in, good ones and not so good ones. And I have to say, what is missing in a lot is the practical, let's do this, that support that happens after you launch, that fostering of a community where you have mentors and people that are there rooting for you every day. Sometimes that is missing. And I wanted to create a safe place where you can thrive and grow. And as the logo says, come feel the sun, right? And so that's why I created the Nurse Shark Academy. And so, in having that mindset, I've created online communities for you, for all of us to get together. So I have an event coming up. It's on our in our alignable group actually. So I'm going to post this to our other group, social media group, so you'll know where to find us. But we have another group, and in that group, I wanted to see if I can get nurse business owners in the room to talk to each other about what it's like to be a nurse and a business leader, what it's like to be the one that's responsible for the bottom line, and how can we help you grow as a leader. I'm very interested in fostering leadership and leadership strategies for nurses that is particular for us and speaks to us. And one of the ways that I look at how nurses approach their field is that we're very holistic. We look at the mind, body, and the spirit, and our framework is built on that very foundation. So I wanted to be able to share that with you, and I thought I'd come on and just kind of talk to you. I just wanted to share what I'm about, because I realize I've had the shows and I talk about what's happening in healthcare. I have the podcast and I talk to other nurse business owners and nurse business leaders. But how do we get ourselves into the room so that we can be supportive of one another? And there's no need or fear of competition or scarcity, or that person's going to get the contract. No, I've been fortunate to be in groups now that I've chosen some of my groups wisely, the masterminds that I'm involved with wisely, where we share resources with one another. We share the abundance because we recognize we can't do it alone. And that was my epiphany. Why are we doing this alone? So I'm looking for those nurse business owners, those that are owning home care agencies and staffing agencies and whatever else you're doing, concierge business, network marketing business, whatever it is that you're doing in business. Whether you're a side hustler, you've got an established business, you've got a multi-million-dollar company, let's come together and share what wisdom we have gained together and shared with each other so that we can grow. Nurses need to come together, and nurses need to network and meet. And that's my goal. And so I wanted to share that with you. So I hopped here on YouTube, just live stream this as I was thinking about this, just as I was getting ready to shut it down for the day. And I thought, I've got to talk to him. I got to get out there and just talk to him. And most of the time I'm going live on other social media platforms. But one of the reasons why I decided to just go here on YouTube today is because I wanted to be able to share the information with you and have this video available to share to others. And so, yeah, I just hopped here to say hello, introduce you to myself, and let you know what it is, what I'm about, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. And if you're looking to be on one of the shows, particularly on the Nurse Shark Academy show, and you're a nurse business owner, yeah, let me know. go ahead and send an email to us through the show link and let us know that you're interested, and we'll set up a pre-booking call and get to know you and then bring you on the show. I have great conversations with nurses, and it's wonderful. I've learned so much from the nurses from different walks of life from all over the world now. So I've had nurses from Canada, United Kingdom. I've had a, let's see, where's this last nurse? She was in, where did she move to? The last nurse I talked to, she's in Greece. She moved to Greece and she's running her business from Greece. I'm just fascinated by all the different things that we can do as nurses. And I bet if you're on this channel, you're fascinated by that too. And I look to bring great content to you, but more than that, just practical tips on how you can get started to launch your own business and what you can do to grow and foster community for us. So that's what I'm about. I am a nurse practitioner by background, a nurse educator, um, a podcast host, all the things, right? And I didn't start there. And I want people to hear that because I didn't start out doing all the things. I started out technically as a volunteer in the nursing home, and then I was working in the lab as a lab tech in high school. Then when I started nursing school after getting my degree, by the way, in biology, I went back and got my nursing degree, and I became a nursing assistant. And I was a CNA for a while and a home health aide, and I worked in long-term care and hospice care. And then I became an RN, and I worked in psychiatry and inpatient units, and I got my degree in education. I was a nurse educator. I still am a nurse educator. I've done a variety of different things in a variety of different fields. Worked in agency, was in primary care. Had my own private practice. I've done that for a while. I've done a variety of different things in my career, and in looking to that. And oh, and by the way, in high school, I was also a radio DJ. So I've had a lot of things and a lot of experiences that I bring to the table. I say that to say that every nurse has a story. You know, you're not just a nurse, you are a just nurse. You know, you fight for justice for your community, for your patients, for your family. And every nurse has a story. And I'm out there wanting to capture as many nursing stories as I can. So if you can, just give us a like, subscribe, share, follow, and also invite your fellow nurses to the platform. Let them know that there's a safe place for them, a place for them to learn about other fields of nursing. And maybe you're at that juncture in your career where it's time for you to step away from the bedside, but you don't know what to do next. And I'm here to help you answer that question. And so I really am encouraged by what I see nurses are doing, and they're now speaking out even more. And I'm looking at budding the new nurse Florence Nightingales and the new Mary Seacoles and the new Mary Mahoney and all these other nurses that are out there that we put them on a pedestal and we talk about them. And you're that nurse. Believe it or not, you are that nurse to the next generation. You're the ones that they look up to. There were two great nurse mentors that I had early in my nursing career that I'm still friends with them today. And the tables have turned. I'm now mentoring them as they had mentored me. I just think that's wonderful. And I think we, as nurses, need to foster a community where we work together and share and support one another. You know, I am one to, yes, we have serious problems and things like that, but I'm also one to look for serious solutions. And so maybe the solution for you today is entrepreneurship. Maybe you can't return to the bedside because your family life, you know, things are going on in your family. You need to step away. You can't do those 12-hour shifts and, you know, on call and all that stuff. And maybe you need to have a more flexibility in your schedule, or maybe you are retired and now you're looking as a way to give back and do something different and utilizing those nursing skills. You know, my philosophy has always been, you know, you can leave your job, but you don't have to leave your profession. How can we use those skills that you develop in nursing and utilize it, repurpose it, repackage it, do it in a different way. There are nurses that are now health coaches and nurses that are nurse writers. There are nurses that are educators and filmmakers and podcast hosts and all different kinds of things. There are nurses that have taken their acumen for nursing and now are helping attorneys with their cases, like myself. Or maybe they're nurses that are uh, now helping people with finances, and you're talking to other nurses. We've had them on my show where they're talking about their finances and how to make a better future for their families. There are nurses that are doing it all in all areas of our life. So don't think that just because you were a med surg nurse or a surgical nurse or a GI nurse or OB nurse, that that's all you have to offer. There is so much more to you. I am living proof of that. I never thought that I would be a podcast host. It didn't even enter my mind. But my early preparation as being a radio DJ prepared me for this role. I never thought I wanted to be in radio at one time. But my mom made me promise not to because she was in radio too, as a public relations person. And so, but I did learn how to do a radio show. I did learn how to talk on the mic. I did learn how to speak in front of people. And because of that, now look, I have a chance to spotlight other nurses and to share what wonderful things they're doing to the world. So I thought I'd just hop on here and just kind of share my story today, and encourage you that if you're looking for a safe place to come and learn more, you want to get ideas for your business, you want to get connected with people, this is a good opportunity. Don't be in business alone. One of the network marketing companies that I am affiliated with, one of their philosophies was you can do business, but you don't have to do it alone. And I want to say that to nurses. You don't have to be a lone wolf on this. You can be part of the pack. You can foster community. You can work together. You can learn together. You can grow together. You can thrive together. There's room for all of us. There's so many people out there that need us, whether it's an attorney that needs help on their legal case, whether it's somebody that needs to know how to take care of their newborn child postpartum, and this is their first child and they're scared, or maybe they need a lactation consultant, or maybe they need a death doula to help them navigate what's happening at end of life. There are so many different things that we can do and take those nursing skills, repackage it, and use it in a different way, and you're still a nurse. And so I love that. And so as I think about all the different areas that we can go into nursing, I want to encourage you to um, explore a bit. Be open to new ideas. Be open to the fact that maybe those skills that you had years ago that had nothing to do with nursing can now be used to further the nursing community and profession. I never thought about my training as a radio DJ as impacting what I'm doing in nursing until one day I looked up and I'm like, I have two shows, and I regularly do two shows, two podcasts. I think that's amazing. And I never would have thought about that when I was in high school. And when I say I was a DJ and did all the things, I actually took radio broadcasting in high school. I had my my license to be on the radio. I did all the things and even had a show in college the first time I went to school. So I'm encouraging you to take those skills that you have, repurpose them, repackage them, and be of service to the world. And not just of service, but you can thrive in this. You can grow in this. You can take care of your family. You can find your path. You can experience freedom. You can, as I like to say, come feel the sun. That feeling of you are in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, where the sun is bright and shining and you have found your happy place. That's the feeling that I want for you to have in the Nurse Shark Academy. So I'm just hopping on to say, hey, come join me. Come feel the sun. Thanks for listening. Like and share.